Okay, that was 10 shots with the RWS Super H Point, the 14.2 grain hollow points. Let's see here. It's hard to use paper. I got to start using cardboard for this, but the entire group diameter is about 3/4 of an inch. Center to center, we're looking at about 5/8, maybe a smidge under. That's 10 shots, and that's you know, I'm using a brake barrel for this testing, so you know, you don't get PCP accuracy, but that's about typical of what I find with the Super H points. Is they'll get the job done, but they're not the most accurate hollow points that in my rifles that I've tried anyway. But they're suitable in my opinion. I'm sure they'll shoot great in some rifles and not as well in others. You have to test them for yourself, but like I say, that's pretty typical of what I find. Okay guys, if you've been following my pellet testing at all, you'll know that I've been having a little bit of an issue with trying to come up with realistic medium to properly test these pellets. I'm doing this for me. I'm testing these pellets for me so that I know, at least have some idea of how they will perform before I would even consider shooting them at an animal, you know? So I'm sharing this with everybody because, you know, I look for these types of videos myself. So, in the quest to make the test as accurate and, you know, lifelike as possible, I have decided, if you couldn't tell by the fuzz on the end of this 2-liter bottle, to just quit fooling around. And I went to the thrift store and I actually bought a mink stole for $10. And it's old, it's very old. So this isn't, you know, maybe as morbid as it might first appear. So this is recycled mink from probably 100 years ago. You know, it's about as close to small furry animal as I can simulate without actually using small furry animals. So what we have here is a 2-liter bottle of water that has a rubber glove over the nozzle and rubber bands holding that rubber glove on. There's no cap. And then over top of that rubber glove is a piece of mink skin with the fur on it. So, you know, a mink is a small furry animal. It's a little bigger than a rat and a little smaller than a raccoon, somewhere in the middle. So, you know, this should give us some sort of idea if fur and skin will clog hollow point pellets. If you saw my videos, that the buffalo leather will clog hollow point pellets, unquestionably. So this is my attempt to more accurately simulate what the pellets will actually be hitting. And I am going to use the fur on the hard test too. I guess from this point forward, the mink skin will be part of my testing protocol. I hope this doesn't offend you. If it does, you know, I don't know what to tell you. This is the circle of life. Okay guys, here is the carnage. This is our soft test bottle. This is our hard test bottle. And I can already tell you, this is something. This is something. Here we are. Our soft test RWS H Point. This pellet did not expand. The face deformed and crushed, but it did not unfold, unwrap, unravel via hydraulic pressure. That's not what happened there. Sorry, I was looking. Okay. Now for the hard test pellet. A little windy here. Now this one is a surprise. And I'll tell you why. See this flat spot? With that fur on there, it was a little hard to judge the center. But I struck the side of the mouth of the bottle. Just barely. Just barely. But I did strike it. The interesting thing here, see that? This pellet did unfold. This pellet did expand, at least to its capability. It was a little squished from me hitting the side of the bottle. So this is a strange result. Through the hide and through the bottle cap, which simulates skull bone, and upon striking the side of the bottle, this one actually expanded a little bit, but it did. Why? Oh, you know what? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I'm sorry. I was looking at this wrong. This did just deform and crush. Okay, I'm sorry. This did not expand. This is just simply crushed and deformed. Yeah, I can see it better now. So, the RWS Super H Point, I didn't expect it to expand through the skull, and now that I've re-examined the projectile, I am confirmed that it did not. It just deformed, crushed, and actually, for the first time, this pellet cracked the back of the 2-liter jug. That's the first time that's happened with any pellet I've tested so far. Now, granted, I've only tested the hollow points up to this point, so we'll see after I get to the domes and some of the pointed stuff. But the RWS Super H Point did not expand through the mink and through the rubber glove into the water. And I do that to give the pellet an ideal opportunity to expand. This is not really a simulation of a body. A body of any complex sort is not homogeneous inside. The density of the tissue is not the same everywhere, but water is, and it's the most ideal substance for these things to expand in. So if they don't expand in water, they're not gonna. So, you know, the barrier is to simulate an actual barrier, like the skin and hide and fur of an animal. The rubber glove is just to hold the water in the bottle. It provides next to no resistance. So we're giving these things an ideal chance to expand after they penetrate a reasonable barrier. The fur, you know, mink skin, mink fur is a reasonable simulation for small animal. You know, that's reasonable. The bottle cap is probably less hard than skull, so that's a reasonable simulation. And this is precisely what I've expected. The hollow points that hit the hard skull deform and don't expand, so you have no advantage to using a hollow point pellet for a headshot. At least not these ones. The HN Hornet, the Predator Polymag, we'll get to test, or Metal Mag, we'll get to testing those. But the question really is, on a body shot then, on a body shot, are these things, you know, worth the extra money and the hype and everything? So far, it's looking like no. I don't say that absolutely. I'm saying the evidence suggests that these pellets have a problem with clogging and or deforming upon impact and then not expanding. So this is why I want to test it before I try to shoot animals with them. As of right now, you know, I have go-to stuff that I have tested and used in the field, and I know for sure exactly how it's going to perform in a real animal, and I use those. But in the quest for something better, I have to, please excuse my phone dinging at you. You know, I have to test these things before I would feel comfortable launching one at a poor defenseless little animal. So that's what we're doing here. I don't make assertions, you know, we're gaining evidence and we're evaluating evidence, and feel free to form any conclusions, you know, on your own. But come on, stupid camera. Anyway, see you at the next one.
Just